everyone, I'm Jessica Stutzman and welcome back to the Millcreek Government Channel. Nation of Patriots is a nonprofit organization that works on a national level to promote awareness and financially support the physical, emotional, and economic misfortune that our disabled veterans and their families are living with today and every day. Each year, Nation of Patriots organizes a national effort that pays tribute to and honors all of America's armed forces, past, present, and fallen. This united effort is known as the Patriot Tour. Joining us today to talk about this special event is event coordinator Doug Roxbury. Doug, thank you so much for being here today.
Oh, thanks for having us back.
Well, and I say you've been on the show before,
Yes,
so you're a pro at this.
Yes.
And we
No.
really want to get out how special this event is and how our viewers can participate and support. So what is, I kind of mentioned it, but what is exactly the Patriot Tour and what is its purpose?
So the Patriot Tour is a event in which we escort a flag over all 50 states, and wherever possible, it's done on the back of a motorcycle. The whole purpose of the event is to raise funds for our disabled veterans. These are the people that have chosen to give sacrifice for all of us to have the freedoms we have. And for us to say thank you, we do this. The whole point of it, along with honoring our veterans and raising money to help with those that are disabled, is also to bring some pride back that may be kind of faltering a little bit nowadays. Let people see that there are people that care about the American flag, care about our country in general, and the veterans that have always protected us.
Yeah, and why is this so special to you? How did you get involved?
So I got involved just simply on an invite, but on a personal level, I have my grandfathers all served during World War II. We currently have 3 of our own kids serving in the Navy.
Wow.
So this is something that, it's personal.
Yes.
It's good, and it feels good to get choked up about it.
Yeah. And I love it. My dad was also in the Navy, so I love, that's like my favorite thing now is when, we do have like holidays and stuff like that. I love going online and finding memorabilia for his ship and things like that. I think it needs to be celebrated, and I think everybody needs to be aware of it.
Yeah.
So when was the ride first started?
So the ride originated in Milwaukee, was up in Wisconsin, and it was about 13 years ago. And the way it all kind of came to be was a group of individuals were kind of riding around, and for those that are old enough to remember September 11th, everyone can remember on September 12th you couldn't find an American flag to be sold anywhere because they were sold out. And we saw our flags flying everywhere, red, white, and blue bunting everywhere. And when these gentlemen were riding around a couple of years later, they noticed that those exact same flags were still flying, and they were very faded and torn and tattered. And they thought, we should really do something to bring some pride back like we felt that day after. So they decided to do a flag escort. And as part of that, they said, well, we're going to be doing this great event that's going to try to cover all 50 states. What can we get behind? Well, if you're going to talk about the American flag, of course the veterans go right along with it. And just the ability to support them and their needs, it just goes hand in hand. And at that point, the Patriot Tour is born.
Yeah, and you know what, I've just more of a personal story or a personal connection to the flag and the motorcycle. But when my dad, I would always hear the story when he was on leave, he would drive home from Harrisburg or wherever he was being stationed at the time. He would drive home on his motorcycle. So I love that. I think there is such a connection even between veterans and the motorcycles and motorcycles.
The whole aspect of being on a motorcycle, for anyone that's ever been on one, they understand what I'm about to say. And for those people that haven't been on one, being on a motorcycle, it is all about freedom. So the fact that when you're on a bike, you have that feeling as it is, and that we are riding for that purpose, to celebrate the freedoms we have and the people that defended it, it all just goes hand in hand. And it is a very emotional experience to take part in. It's a great experience.
Yeah, I can see that. And I want to touch on something you said about the faded flag or tattered flag. We, Millcreek Township partnered with Retire Your Old Glory. So if you, at any time, 4th of July, middle of winter, if your flag is tattered or faded, which you should no longer fly at that point, we do take them back at the Millcreek Township building. We have a bin right in front, and then they are honorably
Disposed of on Flag Day.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yes, thank you. So I just wanted to put that out there that you can bring your tattered and faded flag to Millcreek Township. Where you mentioned where the organization was based, and how is every branch of the military celebrated during this ride?
So what we try to do as part of our leg is we fly every service flag that we have. Last year, I believe, was the first time we even flew a Space Force flag.
Wow.
So it was something that, it was a way we were able to tribute this new branch of armed services that came to be. But we do all the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Coast Guard. I believe one year we did have a Merchant Marine flag also, and then Space Force that's come to be. But that is the one way. We ask any veterans that they want to fly one of their service flags, and of course everyone wants to fly their branch. But if we have a branch not represented, other people step up and gladly fly that. But we make sure that the order of the flags are always the same. The priority is the American flag at the very front. There are 2 escorts that are in front of the flag so that rider doesn't need to worry about directions, things like that. But the American flag is in front, followed by the POW flag, and then following that are all the service flags.
Wonderful. That's amazing. And I love that formation. I'm glad you explained that. What do we do in case of inclement weather and rain? How do we carry it then?
We obviously don't have the weather that Florida and Hawaii has.
That's true.
So we do have to adapt. And for us, and I can't speak for other events that go on around with the Patriot Tour, but I can say for Erie that our flag always has flown on the back of a motorcycle. It does not matter what the weather is. We have this part of the mission and we make sure it happens. One of my first rides we did, it was in the middle of a massive windstorm, thunderstorm. It was a little intimidating to be riding, but our flag still flew on the back of a bike to Jamestown, New York, which was where we went that year.
Yeah.
But yeah, it doesn't matter what the weather is, we will be out there.
Yeah.
There may be fewer, but there will be, the faithful will be out there.
Yeah, we're hardy people. We can drive through anything.
Absolutely.
And you mentioned it earlier, but how many states does it travel through?
So originally it only did the continental United States of the 48. But I believe it was around year 8 or 9, the ability to get the flag to Hawaii and Alaska through one of the volunteers. The flag leaves Las Vegas and flies out to Hawaii. It spends 1 or 2 days traveling the islands of Hawaii. It is then taken to Alaska, and they spend about a day or 2 going through the state of Alaska, and then it's brought back to Las Vegas and continues on its tour. So I'm very proud to say that now we cover all 50 states of the United States. Everyone has an opportunity to see it. And as far as Pennsylvania, Erie is the only place in the state of Pennsylvania that the flag passes through and has an overnight stop.
Oh, wow. And so this is not, one motorcycle ride with a bunch of different American flags flying. This is one flag.
This is one flag,
that
yes.
travels the whole way.
So we are kind of excited about that very thing, is this American flag, we were able to receive it in its pristine condition on that opening day. And it was on the mast of the Brig Niagara. That is how it started off. And we were able to see what it looked like on that first day. And on the final day, we're going to see what it looks like after it's traveled. It's 15,500 ground miles plus its air miles, and see what kind of shape it's in. And for anybody that wants to actually see the flag, we are given the honor and privilege to display that flag permanently here in Erie, and it'll be displayed at Harley-Davidson of Erie, which is one of our sponsors.
Wow.
So people will be able to see the flag that made its journey all the way around. It will always be there.
Oh, that is crazy. So again, let's talk about the start date in Erie then, and then we end in Erie.
Yes,
That's
absolutely.
really special.
It is. It was something that was, it was an unbelievable occurrence, the way it all came to be. When COVID was all going on, they did a virtual tour. And when they finally decided they wanted to start an actual in-person tour, they reached out to us in Erie because of the support we've always had here and the size of the groups that we always ride with. So they reached out to us and they asked if we could start off an actual hands-on tour. It went so well, and the National Committee was impressed with what we did in such a short amount of time. They asked us to put a proposal together to be a host city. And Kenny and myself and some of our other committee members, We put our heads together. We had our vision of what we wanted to have happen. And about 2 o'clock in the morning, I was awake and checked the email, and there it was that Erie was chosen as a host city. And at first it was, oh my gosh, we did it. And then the reality of, oh my gosh, we did this.
Now what?
And the work started. And
Yeah.
it's been 100 miles an hour since then.
Okay, so the start date was in May, is that
Yes,
correct? Okay,
yes.
and then our end date is in September?
Yeah, it'll be Saturday, September 17th. The flag will be making its journey from Mentor, Ohio, and it'll be coming into the state of Pennsylvania around 1 o'clock in the afternoon on Route 20 at the state line, and we'll be following Route 20 to Route 5 all the way to Erie Harley-Davidson, and we should be arriving at Erie Harley-Davidson around 3:30, I believe. Sorry, 1:30.
Okay.
So state line at 1 o'clock.
Okay.
The dealership at 1:30. So if you live along Route 5 and you wanted to participate, you want to come out, if you have flags you want to fly and wave, and you'll probably see, I'd love to see 100, 150, 200 bikes. If you want to hear that roar and feel that rumble in your chest as they go by, please come out. We've had people rearrange family reunions so they have that, where they can watch the flag go by. It is a special occurrence to see that flag coming by and everything. So here in Pennsylvania, from 1 to 1:30 along Route 5, you can come see the flag.
Wonderful. So bring your camping chairs.
Yes,
set
absolutely,
up,
yes.
And get ready for the flag.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
It's great.
Okay, and then what do you have in store for the end, the grand finale event?
So the grand finale will be at Harley-Davidson Erie for about an hour. We will do a flag exchange there, and it will be a flag transfer from the Mentor, Ohio flag bearer to our flag bearer. And then our flag bearer will then lead the procession, and I am not sure the route. I don't know if it's been totally finalized yet, but there will be a procession from Harley-Davidson Erie down to Liberty Park for the final celebration. We have the band Sour Mash, which will be performing for a free concert. Everyone is welcome to come. They are expected to start about 4 o'clock. Sometime during that first hour, I'm guessing, we'll probably, once everyone has a chance to come in, sit down, get settled. It's going to take a while to get all the bikes parked and people, into the area. But we'll have our actual closing ceremony, and we are really hoping, if weather is permitting, that the Brig Niagara should be anchored offshore, and we are hoping that we can take the flag off the stage. It'll be taken out to the vessel. It'll be hoisted back up onto the mast, and we may have a little surprise for everyone when it finally is put up on the mast in the end. So that's what we're really hoping for.
You guys
if
are the
everything works out.
mastermind. You have
But,
thought of everything.
well, we're trying
even in
to.
surprises.
We're trying to, but Mother Nature and the weather, that's the big question mark of a lot of it. But a lot of people are really excited and getting behind this. And it's exciting that when you make a suggestion to someone and they say, yeah, we can do that. That sounds great. And the people at Brig Niagara, they've been phenomenal working with us. I mean, they're here in town for Tallships this weekend.
Right, what an exciting weekend. The energy going into this.
It is a great group of people to work with, and they've been nothing but supportive of everything from the kickoff to now this ending, the ending of the route.
Wonderful. And you mentioned the flag bearers. When there is that pass off of the flag, is there anything special that's done, or how does that unfold?
So every leg has their own spin on what they do, and the one thing I can tell you is that with the flag coming into Erie, we always, whether it's the start in the morning or it's at the end, as a group, we do the Pledge of Allegiance with the flag. We listen to the national anthem. We have that moment of silence so everyone can think about what they're there for. Those 3 things, everything else is kind of filler around that. We've had people speak, and there's some great speakers and there's some speakers that aren't so great, but people that want to share their feelings about it, they have the ability to do so. We will have a couple guest speakers at the final thing, including Bill Shear, who's the coordinator for the national event. He'll be at the closing ceremonies. So people will be able to hear from Bill, who's also the founder of the Nation of Patriots. But those 3 things are the biggest things, is we always make sure that we honor the flag with the Pledge of Allegiance, a moment of silence, and then the national anthem.
Okay. And we talked about people who want to be spectators and watch. How does somebody participate, with their motorcycle in the ride?
So all we ask, we are going to be meeting at the halfway point between Mentor and Erie, Pennsylvania, which is going to be in Ashtabula, Ohio. We'll be meeting at the Elks Lodge, in the parking lot of the Elks Lodge. It's kind of a halfway point to give people a chance to get off their bikes, take a break. Riding in a large group can be a little bit stressful. So if there's people from Erie who would like to participate in the large part of the ride, they could be in Ashtabula at the Elks, which is right across the street from Kent State Ashtabula on Lake Road, or Route 531. If they're there by 11 o'clock or so to help get lined up, that's great, and then they can join the procession from the group from Menor.
Okay.
It's going to be a
11
very
o'clock on September 17th.
11 o'clock
Okay.
in the morning on September 17th. If you don't want to do that long of a ride and you just want to participate, you can start showing up at the dealership at any point in time throughout the day. We'll have people there parking bikes and getting everyone staged for the final parade down to Liberty Park, which will be an escorted parade the entire route. So no stop signs or stoplights to worry about. But you can be at the dealership, and I believe we're going to be leaving the dealership at 3:30. So the earlier you get there, the further up you're going to be in the group. And the more time to enjoy everything that's going to be going on at Harley-Davidson of Erie.
And how many miles is that, did you say?
For the
From Mentor and Ashtabula to Erie then?
So I believe for mileage, it's going to, for time-wise, we kind of base it on time,
Okay.
just because of our speed and everything.
Right.
From Mentor to Ashtabula is going to be at about an hour and 15-minute ride time. From Ashtabula to Erie is going to be just about an hour ride time.
Okay.
And then the procession down to Liberty Park, I'm guessing, is probably going to be about a 15 to 20-minute ride, all depending on how fast we move through and how much people are waving and things like that.
Right,
So,
right. Awesome. Okay, and then are there any rules or guidelines for the ride?
so any motorcycle is welcome. We do not really allow cars, and that's just because when people see the group of motorcycles, it signifies one unit. As soon as someone sees a car, they think it's an opportunity for them to pop back into traffic. So we do limit it to motorcycles only. And it's any brand of motorcycle is welcome, as long as you are there willing to support that red, white, and blue that's flying in front of you. Anyone's welcome. The only real thing we have is we do have people that need to sign a waiver if they're going to participate.
Okay.
We ask for a donation because that is the other part of it, is we are raising money for our veterans. And lastly is that people love flying their American flag, and I respect that, and I love seeing flags on the back of bikes. But today, on the day of that ride, the priority is the American flag up front. And because of flag etiquette, we do ask that you don't fly an American flag on your bike, that only that one American flag at the front of the line is the one that's going to be flown. If you show up with an American flag, by all means, we can't tell you to take it down, but we will ask you to possibly volunteer to move forward in the group and fly one of the service flags instead. And most people are very happy to do that.
Wonderful, and that makes perfect sense. Is when, again, this is a fundraiser, can you talk about how, what this money is used for the veterans?
Yeah, so one of the biggest things with this is we want to make sure that the money that is being raised goes into the hands of a veteran who is truly in need and truly is a veteran. We do not want to have any problems with stolen valor, things like that.
Yes.
So we do have an application process in which someone can go to the website, which is the Nation of Patriots, and you can download an application and fill it out. We then, once we receive the application, the person is vetted with the VA to make sure that they are a veteran and they are seeking help for their injury. They do have to have an injury that qualifies for a percentage of disability, things like that.
Okay.
Once they are vetted, they go to a panel and their needs that they put in their application are looked at, and we see what it is we can help them with. In the past, we've done things like wheelchair ramps for homes. We've helped rebuild a kitchen in which a kitchen had caught fire. For someone that had a traumatic brain injury and they had some memory loss, things like that. So I believe this year we may have put a roof on someone's house. We don't really know. Kenny and myself, who are the co-chairs, we don't have a lot of information as to the veterans that are helped because it is really an anonymous process. We don't need to have people thinking that, well, everyone's going to know my business.
Right.
When you fill out that application, it's something that myself or anyone else here in the Erie area, they will not see it. It goes to a national committee.
Right.
So people can feel assured that their private business is going to stay their private business. We just want to make sure that the money that is donated by these generous people goes where it needs to go.
Right.
And the process they have, it works very well.
And like you said, just going to that veteran, and so if you are a veteran in Erie and you've fallen on hard times, they can also apply through the organization too then, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
We've also helped with Veterans Court, which until the day we went to Veterans Court, Kenny and I knew nothing about it. Sitting and listening to the veterans share stories and things like that, it is a phenomenal experience, and I'm glad we have that resource here in the Erie area to help our veterans. So there's all kinds of ways that this money goes out and helps people. So if you are a veteran, if you are a family member of a veteran that you know is in need, if you have a neighbor or a friend that you know that they are in need, you can reach out to myself or Kenny Sturm on our Facebook page. It's Patriot Tour Pennsylvania. You can go to the national website, which is nationofpatriots.com, and you can get information or contact information. You can have the application, ask questions, just give us the opportunity to help these people. They've done so much for us.
Yes, yeah, and we want to support them in return for what, the service that they've given to their country.
Yes.
I'm so glad you mentioned all of the contact info. That's what I was going to ask you next. Is there anything, we've got just a couple minutes left, is there anything else we should know about the ride or the event or the veterans that are helped?
Wow. I feel like I could talk for hours about all of it.
No, please do. But yeah,
so,
in a nutshell, we can.
Yeah, in a nutshell, just to recap everything, it's going to be a flag escort, hopefully of 100 plus motorcycles. If we had 300, that would be wonderful. That's going to be traveling from Mentor, Ohio to Erie Harley-Davidson. We'll be in the state of Pennsylvania from about 1 o'clock to 1:30 on Saturday, September 17th on Route 5 and Route 20. And then a procession starting at 3:30 down to Liberty Park. I don't know what the route is yet, but we will post that on our Facebook page, which is Patriot Tour Pennsylvania. Any information, that's the most current way to get information. The whole purpose of our organization is to help wounded veterans, to help them get back on their feet, whether it is paying rent, paying bills, taking care of a car loan, new tires for your car if you need to get back and forth to therapy. These are just examples that are popping into my head that I've heard in the past we've helped with. But that is our goal, is to raise money to help our veterans. If you do want to participate in the route, those are the routes where you can participate. If you don't own a motorcycle, if you don't live on that route, just come down to Liberty Park for a free concert. Enjoy the excitement that we are going to be we're going to be celebrating. I can't tell you how much I can't wait to celebrate when this is all over. It's been a phenomenal experience up to this point, but when that flag is finally back on the Brig Niagara, it will be a massive stress relief. And you can come down and have fun with us at Liberty Park. It's a free concert. Sour Mash is a phenomenal band. I believe they're out of Pittsburgh. Come and enjoy everything that's down there that we have to offer and celebrate what Erie is, great about Erie.
Yeah. And I want to thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule, because it's not your full-time job. You volunteer to do this. I want to thank you for taking the time to organize this through Erie. How long have you been doing it now?
So I've been involved pretty much from the beginning, and it's myself, it's Kenny Sturm, and we have a committee of Kelly Lapping, Pat Callahan, Jim Hamilton, and I know I'm going to forget some, Brian Kwiatkowski, Mike Schleicher. I believe that's all of us. If I forgot anyone, I apologize. But those are the group that have pretty much been doing all about the behind the scenes work, getting things put together. We've got some great sponsors, being Harley-Davidson Erie, D. Canawana. I don't think I said that correctly. Caruana. I'm sorry, Dee. But Dee is one that she actually puts on a bike night on Friday night, which that's another event that you can come and celebrate. We have a bike night on Friday night at the Sloppy Duck to kind of get the whole weekend kicked off. You're welcome to come down and join us at the Sloppy Duck for that opening celebration for the week. And Dee always puts on a great show for that. She has a great band, and you will have her up on stage getting you all excited. And lastly, Plyler Door. They're also a large contributor to helping us out, getting everything taken care of. When I say we have sponsors, I hope everyone understands that when you donate money, 100% of that money goes in the hand of a veteran. These sponsors that I mentioned, they are there to help with getting permits taken care of and things along those lines. And then any money that they donated, and we really pinch pennies, but the money they donate, we make it go as far as possible, and whatever is left over from that money, it goes right into the hands of a veteran as well. So
That's wonderful.
we make sure that every penny we take we make sure it goes to the veterans. That is our priority. All of us are volunteers. None of us take a paycheck. It's an honor to do this.
Yeah, thank you again. Thank you so much for bringing this to our attention and coming here today. I know you have so much left to to organize and to get off your plate here for the event, but I want to thank you for being here today and organizing this whole thing for us.
Welcome.
Viewers, wow, that was an incredible show. Again, the energy that is going to surround this event towards supporting disabled veterans is just going to be phenomenal. So I really encourage you, if you are a disabled veteran, if you need help, please don't be too proud to ask for help. We want to support you through this event. So make sure you fill out the application that he mentioned. On the other hand, we just want to support the American flag and our veterans and our country. So be sure to tune into their Facebook page and their website. We mentioned the date and the time, but if you missed it, please feel free to check out their website and Facebook page for more information. I want to thank you for tuning into today's show, and until next time, have a great day.